Alrighty, so today we'll be talking about Power Virtual Agents and Dataverse for Teams. Who here has built anything with Dataverse for Teams yet? Give us a reaction. Let's see what we got. Jamie, you've built something nice.
Yeah,
I've built thumbs up there. Nice. Who's tried the PVA app for Teams yet?
Oh, for Teams, no.
Nice, we got Ryan. Alrighty. I gotta say, the PVA app is probably my favorite thing. So I'll be showing you how you can build your chatbot in it. I feel like a lot of us we've tried building chatbots before. Let me know in the chat what you've built if you have tried to do this before. I actually sit and I do this for fun. So I think about use cases and ways I can make bots for my organization, and I build them in my free time. So today I'll be showing you around the app, what it looks like when you publish your bot out, and then also how you can get it to interact with your Dataverse for Teams data, if that's the path you want to go down. Alright, so a bit about me. My name is Rishona Elijah. I'm coming to you from Sydney, Australia, and I work at a Microsoft partner called Barhead Solutions as a Power Platform trainer and evangelist. So what that means is that I run a lot of events and training around the Power Platform. My role here is to put out content around it. So I run things like the in-a-day training sessions for people and our customers to onboard people with the Power Platform, show them the cool things. So I feel like I have a pretty fun job because I get to play around with the Microsoft tech and then showcase it to other people. So that's my day job there. I also have a blog where I post tips and some things you can try with the Power Platform. Feel free to also find and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there, and it shouldn't be too hard to find me by my name, I think. All right, so that's a bit about me. Let's get stuck into it then. So the plan that I had for today is I'll just sort of start off by talking through some ideas and use cases for where you might want to consider using PVA within Teams. How we get started with the app, I'll then do a demo of a bot that I've built and using it with Dataverse for Teams, the different ways you can publish it out, and also a few which kind of newer features. I think they came around at the start of the year, where you can mention your bot in a channel to talk to it there, and also proactive bot messaging. Alan, I can share it, but I got to say it's not that interesting. Most of it is the demo. It's only a few slides here, so I'll share it after, but yeah. Probably not too much here anyway. And Jamie, thanks for putting my LinkedIn profile there. All right, so ideas on things that you can build for use cases within Teams. So we all know our Power Virtual Agents bots are all about building a place where people can go and get the answers for things that they want. You might put it on your website, on a mobile app, maybe for your customers to use, as well as it's also used for doing tasks on behalf of people. But if we're thinking about it from the Teams perspective, then of course we're only going to be building something for our employees to use, something internal here. And by the way, this is all included on your Teams license as well, and it's open for anyone to go and start building. So I find that the Power Virtual Agents app within Teams is a good way to onboard people and get people to discover it, start building stuff, and just really get stuck into it from there. So the most popular things I've seen built with this are things like a HR chatbot. When you actually go and you open up Power Virtual Agents within Teams, there's like a quick start guide on how you can go and build your own HR chatbot. If you think about it, HR is something people have questions about constantly all day, and they're probably getting hammered with questions like, how much leave do I have? What's our work from home policy? Can I submit leave and things like that? So it's a good way to automate all that rather than people running to the person to go and ask. They can just talk to the bot to get that response straight away. The one I'll show you today is an example of one that I've built for logging tickets and tech support. So, you can be talking to the bot to report a problem. It can give you a ticket number, report it, and escalate it to your team. I've tried some stuff where using it as a calculator. So maybe if you have some tasks that you do where you need to, enter in some data and run some calculation through it. I've tried it for that, running approvals, and of course, like FAQ. you have all your questions and things that employees need to access, you can just build a bot where they can go and talk to that to get those details from immediately. So I think that one was a video there, but it's probably finished going now. I think I've already started playing it. But this is one that I've built where, it can be used for recruitment. So this one actually that I'm showing here will go and create a task and planner for people based on the inputs that you're doing here. So it's all about cutting down your time for going and manually doing this. You can just get the bot to do it for you. All right, so the Teams app, you can go and find it over here. So just head to Teams, click on the apps area, and you can look for it here, Power Virtual Agents. This is something everyone will have access to unless I have come across some cases where their IT has actually blocked it, unfortunately, and people can't find it there. But if your organization isn't that strict, then you should be able to find it and start building using this here. So the app, it's the same interface that it is for the web version, but it's just embedded within Teams here. So over here, they have some quick start things. That's that HR bot one that I started with, but I'm going to head over into the chatbots area. So every team can have chatbots built into it. So I only have one team here at the moment called Helpdesk, and I've created a bot within it. So when you create your bot, you need to specify the team that's going to be its home or that it's going to live in. But even though you specify a team, when we get to the publishing part of it, you can also publish your bots so that it's there for everyone to use, regardless of if they're within that team or not. So basically, you're just going to start off with the team, then you can build your bots inside that. So I've very cutely named this one Helpdesk Henry, which is the one that I'll show you guys today. All right, so when we get into this, it's similar to that interface that you might already seen before with the full version of PVA. So you have your home page where you can start to test your bot out and talk to it. You have your topics area, which are the different scenarios that your bot has been set up to handle. So from the topics, you can see I have this one here, which is the one I'll show you today, which our bot is going to be creating a help desk request for people. But of course, you can extend this, add more to it. So what I've done is we have this default greeting topic. You can also go in and customize all of these existing topics that are in your bot already. So I've gone and I've changed how it greets it. That allows you to sort of give your bot its own personality as well. So if you have an idea in mind of what you want the bot's attitude to be like, I feel like customizing the greeting and those default topics are a good way to let that shine. Let me go back there. So creating a new topic, you can click plus new topic from here. And maybe let's say if we want our bot to answer a common question that we have come up. Maybe let's say, how do I submit a timesheet? So we can call our topic that. I'll rename it later, and then we can add in our trigger phrases. Our trigger phrases are the things that our employee is likely going to type in to direct them to this conversation that we're setting up. And like you can see here, you probably want about 5 to 10 or 5 to 15. And they don't need to be full sentences either. So just think about the words that people would use to direct them to this conversation. So maybe if I'm setting up this conversation about how should I submit a timesheet? So then here we can say submitting a timesheet. I won't type them all out, by the way, because there's nothing more boring than watching someone type. But you get the idea here. So timesheet, log a timesheet. And the different ways people and the different words people would say here. So then once we've done that, we can go ahead and type in our message. You can find the details here. Of course, I won't build this full out one here right now. It's going to be quite boring to watch me type the whole thing. But with our bot conversations, for those of us who are new to Power Virtual Agents, then just a bit of info about what this is. This is where you're drawing out that conversation, or you're modeling that conversation that you want that bot to have. So we have these things called our message nodes if you just want the bot to display a message, as well as if we want to ask a question and get some input, we can do that. Later on, I'll show us some things we can do with call and action, which is where we can build a flow into it, as well as send it to another topic or just finish off the conversation here. Then, of course, as you build it, you can test it out, like submit a timesheet. And we've got that one going there. So those are our topics. So further down, we have the entities, which are the things that your bot is trained to recognize, which I'll point out later when we go to the other one that I've set up. So essentially, you know, if you want someone to put in an email address, the entity is saying that, yes, it's going to recognize an email address in someone's text. And then I'll show us the publish area later on. So these are the different ways we can distribute the bot internally to our organization, but I'll bring that one up a bit later when we're up to the publishing stage. Then you can also do things like change the name, give it its own icon and things like that. So that's just a quick overview of the actual app and what the interface looks like for when you're off and you're building your Power Virtual Agent. All right, so for the bulk of my demo for today, I'm going to show you this one that I've set up and sort of what it looks like for creating a help desk bot in Teams. And this one is also going to interact with data that you have sitting in Dataverse for Teams. So the idea that I'll show you is we're going to have a few different components to this solution. And by the way, it doesn't take long to set this up. When I created this, I think just within an hour or less, I had this running. So it's something you can pretty quickly go in, start building and get people using it. So we'll have 4 different areas of this solution. First of all, we'll be using Dataverse for Teams for data storage. This is where we'll have people, or as people type in a help desk request, it's where it's going to go and get stored. Power Virtual Agents for Teams is where people will go and talk to submit these tickets and the help desk requests that they have. The Power Automate for Teams will be used to go and submit that. So it's taking it from that conversation with the chatbot over into getting stored in Dataverse for Teams. And then kicking off some workflows there. You know, we want to go and notify our help desk or our IT team of this issue that has come through. And then as a bonus, Power Apps for Teams, which could be a way that you want your IT team to manage all of these requests where they can see them and visualize it coming through. To show you what the end result looks like, let me just go into a demo of the bot working and what it's going to do. Let me open it up. So I published my bot here, and he sits here like an app. He also sits in your chat that you have. So it's a bit like you have a colleague there you can just go and talk to. But instead of being a person, it's a bot that you've created. So just to show you what this one is, so if I go and I say hello to my bots, and he's going to come back with that greeting. Now let's say I want to report an issue. So now he's going to go through this topic that I've set up, which I'll show us in a moment. So we've set up some different categories of the type of issue to help our team manage it. Let's say account management. And then let's say a bit more about it. Maybe I don't remember my password. So I've gone ahead, talked to the bot, and I've submitted my issue that I'm having. So what we'll get here in a moment is we're going to go and it's going to escalate it to our IT team. What it's returned here is a ticket number. So this is something that's generated in that Dataverse for Teams table, which I'll show us. So what it's actually done in the background is it's gone over in and it's posted that within Teams, where our IT team can go and look at it. I've also built this app here pretty quickly where our team can go and manage all of the tickets that have come through as well and modify the status of them from there. So that's what the solution looks like. That I'll show you how I've built it here. All right, so first of all, because we have all of these different components to it, Dataverse, Power Automate, the bot itself, and a Power App, we're going to build this in the Power Apps app instead, rather than just that chatbot, the Power Virtual Agents one that I just showed you. So over in the Power Virtual Agents app, you can use that one if you just have your bot that you want to use. But if you have all these other components to it, then you can manage the solutions over in the Power Apps app to keep all of these components contained that work with one another. So quite similar, we'll pick the team that we want to build the bot in, and that's where we can start to build all of these different components in. So if we head over into the build area, we'll have all our teams down the side. And if you click see all, then you can see all of the different components that we have there. All right, so let's start off with the Dataverse tables that I've created. So the purpose of this is that we want somewhere to store all of these submissions and these tickets that people are submitting. So I've created a relational database here using the Dataverse for Teams that we have to create a table for Helpdesk request and another one just to categorize the issues that we have. If you haven't seen this before, then it's very simple. They've made it to go and create these tables. So you can just click new. Actually, I won't create a new one now. I'll just open one that I've built before. This one for the Helpdesk request and open that up. So if you want to add more columns and so on, you can just simply go to your table and click add. And you have all of these different data types available to you as well. So like text, email addresses, you can have formulas now, choices, auto number. So these are the ones that I've built here today. I've had my name one, which is going to be the name of the request that someone submits or the ticket that they submit. That description field are the further details that they've put through about the issue that they're having. So issue category, this one is a lookup field, and it's how we create that relational database. So over here, I have these different categories of these Helpdesk tickets I've set up, which I can go and select from. This ticket number is an auto number type of column that we've set up so that we can go and return a number back to the person so they can track it. And I'm also using the choice one here. So we can have some different statuses assigned to those tickets. So is it in progress, resolved, submitted, and you can also allocate different colors to that too. Oh, looks like I have some more here too. Yep, just those ones there. So then just to look at that other table I had was that one called issue category. So this one essentially is just that other side of that table where I have those different categories and then there's some more details about that. So those lookup columns is how we create the relational database, quite similar to, of course, the full version of Dataverse when you're building your tables out, but it's all Teams and it's a bit more simplified. I find the interface here instead. All right, so that's our Dataverse for Teams table. That's the first component of it. So the next one is over here. Actually, before I just go into the next part, something I'll point out is that if you're trying this out and you're building your app within Teams, like if you go to a new team and you'll find that you don't have this option to create something new, you probably just need to create a Canvas app first, and it will take you to doing that. Otherwise, then I find it's a bit difficult to get to the point where you can create all of this other stuff. So you probably just need to create an app first if it's a new team that you're building something in. So just a side note on that if you're going to try this out. All right, so we've got our Dataverse tables. The next part is the bot itself that we're building. So let me open up our Helpdesk Henry one, and I'll show us that topic that I've set up for submitting your Helpdesk requests. So I've created this one already, create a Helpdesk request. So over here we have our trigger phrases such as I have an issue with my computer, I want to log a problem, log an issue, I need IT help. So essentially all the things that people are going to be saying to direct them to go and submit a ticket. All right, so over here we have a message node. Sounds like you need some help. Let me collect some details from you. So the next part here is I've added in a question just to branch out the conversation. So maybe I might have a different turn or something else happen depending on the type of issue that they're having. So I put in some multiple choice options and have the conversation branch out here. I'll just minimize that so we have more space on the screen. So for those new to PVA, these are variables that you can collect as you ask a question. Essentially, it's things that the bot is going to remember and then use throughout the conversation. And we can also use this throughout that Power Automate flow that we're going to build as well, so we can get action to occur with our bot. So in this case, I just got one question here. What's the issue about? We have it sort of, so, you know, they'll answer the question and then it will come down so we can connect the conversation back up. And in the next question, it's going to go and collect the entire response back. So these are these things called entities, what the bot is trained to recognize, which you can go and select from here. And in this case, we're going to capture the description that they've put through. Let me actually go ahead and why don't I demo that as we go along? Let's say again, I want to log a problem. And as we go through it, you can see it's going to go and collect all of these things that we have there, like issue category. It's found out that I want the desktop one and it won't turn on. All right, so what it's done there, it's already populated the ticket number, but what it's gone and it's submitted a run this flow that I built with Power Automate. So over at this point, we've done the thing which is call an action, and we can create a new flow from here. But let me open up the one that we have in this case, which is going to go and submit it as a Teams message. So creating that help desk request. This is what connects that bot conversation over into those Dataverse tables that we set up. So Power Automate is where you can go and send that info off to be stored in that table. I'll show you the one that we're using here. So with the flow, we have this trigger with Power Virtual Agents, which is that information that we collected throughout that conversation as I was going through with it. It asked me the question, you know, what category did it belong to, what my description was, and it also got who the requester was. By the way, since it's already in Teams, it already knows who I am. So it's not like it needs to ask for my name and my email address because it already has that information provided to it. So the next thing here is that to send it over into Dataverse, of course, in that table, we can just use that Dataverse connector that's here, but we'll connect it up to that help desk request one that we've created in Dataverse for Teams. So by the way, Dataverse, it is a premium connector, but if you're using it within Teams and you're just connecting to these Dataverse for Teams tables you've set up, then that's included in your Teams license. So there's no additional cost there. Only if you wanted to connect to a table in your full version of Dataverse would you need the premium licensing for that. So pretty simple. What we're doing here is that we're just adding in those inputs into that table that we have here. So we'll give it a name of the issue and call it an issue with desktop or applications, whatever it might be. We'll also insert that description that it was, and we'll also allocate a ticket status to it, which was another one of the columns that we had on that table to say what the status of the ticket is. In addition, it's also going to now go and give us back that ticket number that was generated. So if we remember, ticket number was one of those auto number columns that we set up in that Dataverse table. So we'll add that as an output in this Power Virtual Agent step and add that dynamic content there. So we can go and give that number back to the person who requested it. A tip as well for this, which a lot of people don't know, is that you can actually reorder this return values to Power Virtual Agents. When you're building a flow in Power Virtual Agents, you will always have this action here sitting at the bottom, but you can move it ahead in the conversation. Otherwise, if you have like a very long process that you've built out, people are going to be waiting in the conversation with the bot until the flow is finished for them to keep talking to it. So what you can do, if you have anything that is not reliant on someone waiting, you can go and you can move this action up in the conversation like I have here. So this one here, like posting a message in that chat for Teams. We don't need someone to be waiting for that until they can talk to the bot again. So we can move this previous action up, send that ticket number back, and then continue on with whatever other actions we want to happen in our flow. So the next step here is just going to go ahead into our Helpdesk team that we have, and it will now go and submit those details there, just so we can visualize that in Teams to see it go through. And that's the flow that we've built, and we've inserted in that dynamic content as well. Let's just take a step back. So as we add in the flow, so what we do here is you'll just have to link up the variables from your bot conversation over to those inputs and outputs that you set up in the flow itself. So, you know, over here we have our issue category inputs or variable that we collected. Over in Power Virtual Agents, we also use, in Power Automate, we also go and we use that one as well. So it's just doing a communicating between these two places, Power Automate and PVA. Question from Jeremy there. Can you report back to PVA multiple times in a single flow, perhaps a status update midstream? You know what? Let's test that out. I haven't actually tried that before. I think that it will only be able to do it once. You'll have to go and submit another flow to go and do it, because with the Power Automate flows within PVA, it will always need to begin with the PVA trigger, and then it will need one more of this. But let me just see if it lets me add another one in. May as well try it out. Power Virtual Agents. Looks like you can add it multiple times, but I'm not confident that's going to work though, just because for it to return a value to Power Virtual Agents, you'll need to have like one of these triggers there. So sort of this starts it, this sends it back. So then to continue it, I think you would need another trigger here, which is going to start it back in Power Virtual Agents. So it's probably better if you go and you create another flow to go and do that. Good point. Let's test it out. I'll have to go after and give that one a test, I think. I've never thought about that one actually. But I wouldn't get my hopes up. I think it's better to go and create a different flow at a point of the conversation. Oh, yes, here we go. Doesn't like it. Okay, well, that was a good idea though, but I guess we can't do that. So yeah, we'll need one trigger, and once it's sent back, it's sent back. And we'll have to go and create another flow to go and send it back to PVA. So that's how that will work. Good question though. All right, so just back on this flow, so we've got those details, and just down here, we've got another message where we've added in that ticket number variable. So we can go and return that number back to our person who requested it. All Right, so that's the flow that we've built and the bot, but let's go over into the publishing options that we have. I'll expand that so we can see it. So by the way, the analytics area, this updates every hour or so if you just wanted to go and get some insights on how your bot is performing, which topics people using that you've set up. So, I mean, I'll go here now, but there's not going to be anything there. But just if you're interested to see all that, you can get those insights from here. Oh, look, it actually did update from me using it today. But it usually takes about an hour for it to update. So once you've built your bot, of course, you can always go back in to update it, make any changes that you need. So if you just wanted to build, one topic quickly, get it out there and get people using it, just hit publish, and then you can always go back in to modify and improve your bot from that point. But if you do make any changes, you just have to hit publish again to make sure that it's updated for everyone with the bot there. All right, so you can use the bots just for yourself. So in that case, you can do open the bot in Teams, and that will just add it there for yourself to use. A bit how I just had it before, sitting where I was talking to it. But doing it that way, it's just going to be there for yourself. Most likely, though, you want something that other people can get the benefit from as well. So you can do make the bot available to others. And then we have all of these different options on ways that we can publish it out. So if I click edit details, we can change the icon and the color of the bot, and then also add a description of the app itself. So as people go and they find this bot, they can read this to see what it's about. So you can add in these details about it there. So we're going to click availability options, and these are the different ways that we can distribute it out. If people are already in the team that you've built it in, you can just do share the link to it. It's a bit like sharing a link to a file. It just gives you the link, people can copy that, and then they'll be prompted to go and install the bot on their end. Add to team, I'll show us this one a bit later, but over here we have where you can put it in the App Store for people. So this option here to show it to your teammates and shared users is you'll just have to specify the security group you want to share it with. So, typically I might do like the whole organization if you want anyone to go and find it, but you can't at this point share it with an individual person. You'll have to share it with a security group that's there. So I might do I have one all company? Everyone. But if you have those security groups set up, then you can do one for the whole company if you want everyone to go and find it. So with these two options that we have in the Teams App Store, I'll go to the App Store in a moment, but this is where people can go and browse through the apps and find it ready for them to install. The other option, which is show to everyone in my org, is where you would need admin approval if you want to publish it this way. So if you built your bot that you think is great, everyone should install it, we want to make it sort of like an official app for people in my company to use, then doing this, it will go to your Teams admin. They can see it from their admin center, and then they can approve it from there. So what that does is over in the apps area of Teams, that means everyone in your organization can go and find it here and install it from there. So to install it, they can just click on it and click add or open, and then it sits here in their team. The other option, which was that built by your colleagues one, is it's not really an official bot for your organization, but people can still go and find it. It will sit in a different section in the App Store. So I think if it just goes with built-in Power Platform, they'll be able to find it here and install it. I actually find the fastest way to get it out is not to go through the admin approval, but you might have your own policies or so on with building that sort of stuff in your organization. But it's faster than, waiting for an admin to approve it or anything like that, if you just want to quickly get people using it. All right, so those are the different publishing options that we have. So essentially, the way that we use the bot then is the way that I demoed it to us before. It will sit here as an app for people, but I've already pinned my guy over here. And he also sits as a chat where people can just go and talk to it, where they see all the chats they have with their colleagues too. Since it's a Teams app, it can work on the Teams web browser, the desktop app, and also the mobile app as well. But they can't use it as its own standalone app for people to just go and launch the bot. It has to be contained within Teams that we have here. All right, so that's the flow, the bot, and the Dataverse tables. So this one that I submitted before is we've got that ticket number now generated. So that's submitted. My ticket has gone through. It's now up to my Helpdesk team to go and manage this. So the next part I'm going to show us now is this kind of a new feature, which is here. I think they introduced this earlier at the start of the year, and it's proactive messaging with our bots. So this is around how you don't need to rely on people to go and initiate the conversation. The bot can actually go and send a message beforehand or proactively to the user. So the way I'm going to show you this is the bot that we've built here. We've got that ticket number. Now let's say we want to notify that person who submitted it once their ticket is in progress and someone is working on it. So we'll use this proactive bot messaging feature to go and do that. So what we've done is over here, I have this app that I've built. I'll actually show you how I've gone and done that for those unfamiliar with it. It's part of that solution that I was building in Power Apps here. Over in my Helpdesk table, I have this one called Helpdesk app, and this actually only took a few seconds to build. So for those of us who haven't tried it before, when you go and you create an app in Dataverse for Teams, it gives you this template already there for you to use connected to your data. So I might just quickly do it now. If I click New App, let's say we want to connect our Dataverse tables to it. Let's say tickets. We can simply just go and when it wants to load, if it takes too long, I might just skip over this. Let me open up another tab while that's going. So what we get as an end result is we've connected our Dataverse tables to this app. So, it might be something that your IT, your Helpdesk team is looking at to manage all of these tickets that have come through. So over here, this is a very simple one, but I can see all of these Helpdesk requests that have been submitted in the organization. So I think that was the one I did before, issue with my desktop. So as someone working on this ticket, we have this ticket status that's there. If I'm working on it, I might go and say, yes, now it's in progress and go and submit that. So this proactive bot messaging, what it will do is it's going to go and notify me to tell me that my ticket is now in progress. And we should get a notification for that come through shortly. I'll just wait while that comes through. Let's see if this one wants to load. So that app there, by the way, is just simply built with data. You can pick your tables that you have, like Helpdesk requests. And then it's actually good to go. Of course, you can modify it a bit more as you want to make it look a bit prettier. But yeah, that's just as quick as we built that app. And then you can just go ahead and publish it to your team, which I won't do since I already have that one there, but it will sit in a tab at the top of the team. So in a moment or so, we should get a notification come through around that proactive message that was sent, but it might take a moment to happen. Let me go and submit another one just in case, so we have some backup options. Oops. So we want to change this one from submitted to in progress. So while we're waiting for that message to come through, I'll show us how we go and we activate this proactive messaging and how that all works. So this is all handled with Power Automate. It's just a flow that you build. I'll open up the one that I'm using today, back into our Helpdesk team. Oh, there we go. Let me open it up here. So what the end result of that one is, as I change the, the ticket status of that one, it's gone back to my conversation with the bot and it's notified me, given me an update on it. So I find this is a good way to send people updates on things. I have another bot I'll show you that I've built as well, which is built around the proactive messaging. So there we go, all happened at the same time. The two that are now in progress, we can send people that. Question from a cache, issue I've faced proactive messaging when session is active, not active, it did not work. I haven't had that issue before. I'll show you what I've been building and it seems to happen anytime. Yeah, fortunately, I haven't seen that one. We'll see if anyone else has encountered that though. All right, so the flow that we've built here is this one here, notify Helpdesk. So for this one, in my Power App solution that's here, you can just go ahead and click a new cloud flow, and we just want a new automated flow. So it's sort of just like building a normal flow as you would. So in this case, we're looking at our trigger, which is going to be that Dataverse table and that value getting changed. So pretty much what I've done here is my triggering action is looking at that Helpdesk request table. It's going to see when someone has updated that ticket status column and changed that. Over here, we have a condition as well. So since it's a choice, we have to enter it in as a number to say the ticket status. So this one corresponds to the ticket status being in progress. That's what that number 2 linked to. And if it is, then over here, we're going to update our ticket to let us know. Oh, sorry, not update it. We're going to get the details of who submitted it. So we've got this get a row by ID to see who the user was. So then from there, this Teams action is what does the proactive messaging. So this is just the post a message in a chat or channel action that's there. But you also have this option to post as Power Virtual Agents. It's still preview at the moment. And you can post it in the chat with the bot, specify your bot. So over here, what I've done now, I've just put in the email address of that person that we got so we can send it back to the right person. And then, of course, just go through and enter in the details of that ticket for it to go through. So that's how our proactive messaging works. Of course, it could be any trigger action that you want. Since we're working with Dataverse today, that's going to be R1. But just as long as you have this action there, that's how you can go and send a message to someone via a bot. So just another note on the proactive messaging part. So a bot that I've built internally for my team, I work at a company called Barhead. I've built this bot that sends people updates on the new Power Apps and Power Platform and Dynamics features. So let me show it to you. I won't go into the details of it unless I have it here in the slides. Let me see. So over here, this is a bot that I've created for my organization, and it keeps us up to date on the latest updates and new features to come through on Dynamics and the Power Platform. So this one, it's all built using those flows where it's sending a proactive message and it's connected to all of these, those bots, all of the blogs that are there. So yeah, Cash, this is the one that I was talking about where I said I haven't encountered it not working if it's not live, because usually what would happen is I'm in Australia, so all the Microsoft blogs and everything get uploaded and posted overnight for us. But when we come in the morning, we can see all of these notifications come through. So this one here, it has like a link to the blog post, a bit of information on it, and so on from there. So it's sort of like a good way to keep people updated on the latest news. The flow that's using this one it's looking at the blog feed, that RSS connector. Just put in the link to the blog. Whoops, skipped ahead there. And I'm sending it to everyone who's a member of a particular team. So if they have the bot installed, then they'll be able to go and get the information of what was published there and the link to that one. So that's another example of how you might want to use proactive messaging. So lastly here, there's also sort of this newish feature, which is where you can add your bot into a team itself. It's a bit like having a colleague there. You know how you might go and mention someone in a team to talk to them? Same thing here, except it's the bot that you've created. So over here, when you're in the publish area of Power Virtual Agents, you have this option where you can add it to a team. So what that means is over here, that's the team we had before. It's like we're talking to a colleague. So I might be having a conversation, but I can also bring the bot into this conversation as well. So I'll just start a new one here. Let's say I want to report an issue, but we have to mention that the bot's name too. So let's say Helpdesk Henry. I want to report an issue. Or it could also be mid-conversation. You know, you might, maybe someone else started a thread and then you want to ask a question from the bot. You can go and bring them in at a certain point. So it's essentially got to run through the conversation that you've set up, but it's in the context of a team itself. So perhaps if it's something visible that you want everyone else to have access to as well, then you can bring in your bot to engage in the conversation here. So I think the first demo I saw of this from Microsoft was one of those conferences at the end of last year. They had it, it was an airline using it where the bot would go and check the flight status. So people could simply go into Teams and ask what the flight status was of a particular flight. So rather than a person going and doing that, the bot would go and recover that for them. All right, and that's all that I had for you guys. So I'm keen to hear if you have any questions about what I've shown you, or also maybe if you built your own bots, what are some things you've tried out? But I want to thank everyone for coming along to today's session, and of course inviting me as well. I had a really good time here, and it was nice to meet everyone. So once again, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any further questions. I also have my blog that I run where I often post about Power Virtual Agents. I feel like this is probably my favorite topic. I find this a lot of fun. Like I said at the start, I do actually build these bots for fun in my spare time. So I'll stay on for a bit longer for, of course, any questions that we might have as well. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, Brad?
Rishona, a great presentation too. And I wanted to see too if you've had a chance to play with the voice channel on top of PVA. It's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. Was it the audio codes one that you tried it with?
I've only done it just in my own day-to-day stuff where I've used the voice channel on top of PVA for a demo, for a customer demo. So I'm not sure what I may have missed what you said. What was it that you said?
Oh, let me bring it up. It's called audio codes.
Audio what?
It's like this. You can sign up for like a free trial of it. What is it? Audio Codes Voice AI.
Oh, okay. So you're doing a third party. So we have a first party.
Oh yeah, this
voice.
is a third party one. Tell us a bit more about the first party one.
Yeah, the first party Microsoft voice channel will allow you. So you were showing the topics. So basically, if you call, you get a phone number, just like if you were calling your bank. You call the phone number, and what you're showing as topics in terms of text, the actual voice channel will read the PVA topics. So as opposed to chat or as opposed to a bot, the voice channel can read those topics out loud. So in the exact example that you gave, the exact example you showed, you could also do that through voice. So it actually reads those topics to the end user. It's pretty neat. Probably seems crazy the way I don't know if I'm doing a good job explaining it.
No, it does. I remember
neat.
when I tried out the voice, I was just really excited to hear it talk, the bot talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So there is
channel.
Yeah, it's on the omnichannel side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's enabled through omnichannel. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
with
I
the
do-
channel.
Yep. I cover
Yeah,
a
the
lot
audio
of
codes
omnichannel
one,
stuff.
yeah, it's a third-party one, but it's pretty simple to set up. So if you did want to try it, you can sign up for like a free trial of this or Voice Connect, and then it just takes you through in like a few steps. You can connect your bot, give it a number, and you can call your bot from there.
Yep. Pretty neat. Yeah, very similar. Yep.